and you say this is law of sines, all right? And it says, draw a triangle, mark it with the given information, write an equation that can be used to find each unknown value, then find the value to the nearest 10. So we're going to go one decimal place. And it says P is 45 degrees, E is 63, P is 22. If I draw the triangle, I don't care about the scale. You notice I draw an equilateral and I just label it. E, P, and R, right? And I label the 63, Doesn't matter. You can rotate this any way you want, okay? It could have, doesn't matter. So I just write E, P, and R, and I put 63 degrees on E. I put 45 on P. I put little p equals 22, so we know that has to be the leg opposite, right? So I put little p there, and it says find little e, which has to be the leg opposite e. So I put e out there. We have a new rule. Now, we could try to drop an altitude and make right triangles and use SOHCAHTOA. Ton of work. Not going to do it. What we've learned is that there is this relationship on all triangles. They don't have to be 90-degree triangles. So anytime I have two pieces of information, when I have an angle and the leg on the same side of the triangle, okay, I have enough to make this ratio. And in this case, I want to do P because I have the angle and the length, and I want to do E because I have the angle and the length. So really, I'm changing this to capital P and little p. I'm changing this to capital E and little e. So I'm going to write the law of sines. Based on this ratio, I get sine 45 equal over 22. Angle, sine of the angle, and listen, think about it. You have to do the sine of the angle. You got to make it a number, right? You got to get rid of the degrees. Over 22 equals sine 63 over e. The best way to do this is to cross multiply. All right? The best way to do this is cross multiply. So I get sine 45 times e equals 22 sine 63 degrees. Now, I could get values here, but your calculators are great devices. Because all you have to do now to solve for e is divide by sine 45. Cross multiply and divide. And if you type this in your calculator, 22 times sine 63 parentheses divided by sine 45 parentheses, you're going to get the answer. And e in this case, 27.7. And law of sines is so fast. Remember how we handled these problems before? We were having to draw the altitude, perpendicular, find the age, go all through the midwork, right? Now we can just quickly do this. So if I do this on 11, EPR, little r is 9, little e is 13, capital E angle is 47, and it wants you to find r. You got to catch again, length and angle are across from each other, so we can set them up in law of sines. So I can say sine of the angle, it has to be the angle, sine over 13, because they're related. That's going to equal, well, little r is 9. And I cannot write just the question mark. I got to write the sine of r. And this is where students invariably get confused. Because when I multiply by 9 on both sides here, you take this and multiply by 9. I get 9 times sine 47 equals 13. All right? And when I do that, I get 0.5063. That is not r. Everybody, we have to realize that is sine r. Right? That is the ratio. Well, I solve for sine r. How do you find r?
Sine.
Well, I just took 9 times sine 47 and divided by 13. The decimal came from multiplying these two right here and dividing by 13. Now, everybody, you know the ratio. What do we want to know? The angle. Old calculator of mine. Sine -1 of .5063 is 30.4 degrees. We have to use our sine -1p to get the angle. These take a little bit of practice. I did a couple other examples on a different video. All right. These two can be looked at again. There are basically two ways these problems go. You either have to find the length, which we did in 10, or you have to find the angle, which we did in 11.